We are going. What is going on with everybody? It is your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you raw rugged. And I have somebody on the other line. I will let her introduce herself. Who do we have?
My name is Klein. And yeah, that's me.
How are you doing today?
Um, I'm all right actually. I've had a very mundane day. I feel like today's been probably the most mundane. Like I had basic breakfast at Weatherspoons, walked up the street, and then watched Tokyo Tony. You know Tokyo Tony? She has like a new show called Aunties. And then I watched that and I kind of lost my mind. I think it's one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. And then I kind of just proceeded to watch all of the episodes and then went for a walk and then got an apple juice back at Weatherspoons. And Weatherspoons is like a withered pub, by the way.
Yeah,
It's like the drinks are cheap, the juice is cheap, and the food is cheap. And yeah, that's basically my day.
that is a lot of apple juice.
It's a pint.
That's a
It's a
pint.
pint of You know what it is? Yeah, I'm not really into apples.
Ah,
Like the actual apples. Like I'm not
yeah.
really into it. Like I've never really liked the physical apple. So I think was it 2 years ago? I like got into like apple juice. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me get my little 5 a day, and then here we are, basically.
If I drank a pint of apple juice, I would be on the toilet for 5 hours. So shout out to you for drinking apple juice right
Thank
now.
you. Period. Period. Thank you.
Apple juice is like Pepto-Bismol for me. I don't. Do you have Pepto-Bismol in like Europe? You know what that is?
Probably in Europe. I don't think in UK. Like there's a lot of things that you guys have that are probably illegal. They're like, yo, we just have like, what is it? Tea and crumpets, isn't it? We just got tea and crumpets, a little Stella.
That is so funny. So like, we'll get into the difference in cultures. I just want to say that I am excited for this interview because I have so many things to ask you. I have so many things to talk
Oh,
about, and I am so excited to actually have you here. So I don't know if I said that on camera yet, but thank you for
no,
being.
no, I'm really excited because I'm also just like a fan, and I've literally been watching like I watch your channel sporadically, the Kevin Gates. I actually watched the Alfonzi. Is it Alfonzi
Alpha.
one?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
sure.
oh, that
Yeah,
was good.
yeah.
That
Close
was
enough.
perfect. I
Close
think that
enough.
was something for the nerds. I think like I love a good like nerd out moment as well. So yeah, fire.
You know,
Period.
I mean, shout out to you because I know you were like in the emails, you're like, I want this to go long. He was like, so we're not gonna do like the 40-minute little free one or whatever. He was like, you get all time you need. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know what it is because I'm like, yeah, because I think initially we were going to do like 30 minutes. I was like, 30 minutes. That's what you're just even just scratching the surface. But then again, it's like it's literally fine. Like if we go 30 minutes and you're like, you know what, I've got it all I needed. I'll be happy with that.
No, I think I have at least like 50 minutes of questions for you. Like I have so
Okay,
much to
period.
talk to you. So once again, thank you. And I want to talk about like how I even discovered who you were. So this is a funny story because it was Beware the Monkey by Mike. And I heard you on there. I'm like, oh, this is a good song. So fast forward, people tell me like, hey man, you gotta interview Klein, you gotta interview Klein. Like, man, Klein, raw man, Klein, this, she, that. So I was like, okay, I like what she did on the Mike album. That was really good. You know what I'm saying? She must be making some like soulful, you know what I'm saying, like a Franklin type music. So I'm going in listening to I don't know what song or album. I'm thinking I'm finna hear like some Erica Badu, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna listen to some, you feel me,
A
some
little slow Luther
exactly.
Vandross.
Exactly. I'm like, she finna dance with my father again. I'm like, she finna be on this stage with me like that. So
Soon, when I'm 70.
that is it's a great song, by the way. Um, So then I go on Apple Music and I don't know what I listened to. It was a song, some album or whatever. And I press play. And boy, was I taken aback because I was like, this is the same person that was on the Mike album.
I'm finished.
Crazy.
I'm finished.
So that already was like, okay. So I think I listened to it and I was like, okay, I have to listen to this another day because my brain wasn't ready. I was like, my brain was in this spot, her brain was in this
Mm,
spot. I was like, this is different. So then I go
hmm
and listen to your albums, I go listen to your songs, and I'm like, this is new for me because I usually don't listen to music that sounds like this. I'm like, this is crazy. So then I'm thinking, this woman must be like, she must be like some just super duper, just like crazy, just wild woman or whatever. And I look at an interview of yours and you were talking about watching Love and Hip Hop. And I'm like, this is the most regular person of all time. I'm like, her brain is it just I did it's like, for example, if I listen to like what's a crazy person? Death Grips for the first time. I was
Oh,
like, oh,
I love them.
I would be like, oh, these niggas crazy. Just listen to me. So I'm like, just
Oh no,
let
no, no, no,
me
no.
have this
Honestly,
song.
that's how I felt. That's how I felt when I heard them. I was like, they must be breaking shit every day, like fucking, like you know what I mean, like fucking people up.
And then I interview you, and you're like, oh yeah, I was watching Tokyo Tony interviews. I'm like, this is the most just a regular person of all time. So I think it's so interesting because I don't know, maybe it's terrible that I'm just like it's like a prejudice that I have when I hear like a certain type of music. I'm like, oh, they must be this person. But you like are not
Mm-hmm.
at all. Have you ever gotten that? Has anybody ever like met you or like people like friends of yours? They're like, damn, like I would expect you to make different type of music just by the way that you are.
Um, you know what? Yeah, I guess I don't know. It comes in waves, because I feel like I just don't really think about that. Like, oh my god, you can't even make this up. Who's messaging me?
That's so funny.
Oh my god, no. I was waiting for him. The time's up. But basically, I don't know. I never really kind of like think like too much about like kind of. I think I definitely like at some point I was like, oh shit, this is kind of crazy, but it didn't really feel that crazy because I think my context of also making stuff was like I wasn't really intention before wasn't really necessarily for other people. It was just like kind of an excuse for me to just kind of get out how I'm feeling, and because I was someone that was kind of like a numb avoidant with kind of a lot of my emotions. And I'm always like, I'm good, everything's great. Whereas like in the music, I would kind of it was the only time, especially the songs that I had that didn't have words to it. Those were the only times I was able to like really get out how I felt, whether it was like kind of mourning the death of someone or I don't know, addressing like gang violence where I grew up and stuff like that. That was kind of the only place. But I will say that when I first started, my friends were surprised. That is true. I feel like my friends in the past like few years, like or people that have met me in the past few years, are like, oh, it makes sense. But I think like my cousin and a few of the people were just like, this is really strange, just because I think at the time when I started making stuff, especially like a lot of it was kind of like covers of like pop songs and like Justin Bieber covers and like ASAP Rocky covers and just chatting shit over like remixing Drake songs or reappropriating Drake songs. And I thought that was really funny to kind of like stretch out the vocals and manipulate it. But I wasn't really seeing it as something weird because I feel like at the time, if I did, I would have probably stopped.
Mm,
I would have been like, oh. So I think I just kind of was just like kind of in my own bubble as well. So that was like a thing. And I was definitely like inspired by like I had well not had. I'm always like I have, but we don't really have like that much of a relationship like that. But I have like a twin sister. Like she started making music a few years ago, like way before me, and then I kind of carried on like after her, and then she kind of stopped. So I feel like I'm definitely like was inspired by her because she would just make like mundane songs about anything, but it wasn't like a thing.
mm.
She's like, oh, I'm just gonna make a song about cheese and toast. So I'm gonna make it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so I think growing up with that, and like also like my family also which is into music. And I will say that kind of listening to hip hop so much, like I was such a big I'm always like saying was like I'm like such a big hip hop fan. I'm the type of person to like love a song so much. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to the instrumental and then listen to the instrumental. I'm like, oh god, this is crazy. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. It's like, like what's that song that Soldier Boy did for Nicki ED, like her first like kind of big breakout. The beat for that is so crazy to me. That's been like kind of my fourth, like pretty much any kind of Soldier Boy beat has been my fourth, my force to kind of keep kind of like making things and not really seeing it as a thing. Okay, I'm rambling, but yeah,
No, you're
it's
good.
weird. It's weird. It's weird. I think with music is a weird one because I think I do think that the way people look and people's expectations of what someone's supposed to look like for certain music is always that's like a thing. And I feel like that's just been a thing that's just been pushed by like the media. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're like a metalhead, you're dressed like in a metal thing. If you're in a hip hop, if you're into hip hop, you're in a boom bap. If you're a boom bap, you're just in a boom bap. If you this, and I'm like, all of the things can exist at the same time. Like I do love R&B. Like I love Kim Burrell. Grew up listening to gospel music and also grew up with like a Muslim family. Like my dad's family was Muslim, my mom's family was Christian. So I think my introduction to music was so deep in, and especially like the Muslim side was just the weirdest side of it all. And I feel like because I was exposed to that really young, that kind of played a big part in kind of how I am, I guess, all the kind of stuff I make. Even though, yeah, I think I look back at certain things, I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. But I'm also like, oh, it's kind of cool, just because I was kind of someone that didn't really. I failed music and I was terrible at school, terrible at art, terrible at thing, and I was like, oh, fair enough. Like, shit, if I could make all of this beep beep bop bop things, shit, anyone can really.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
so like,
you just mentioned gospel and Kimberell. I just want to show you how much research I've done. This is I don't know if you read this at all. This is a part of my question, one of my questions.
oh,
You know what I'm saying?
that's crazy.
I'm tapped. I'm
You're
so
a
the fact you
psychic,
brought it up,
you know.
hey, I'm already tapped in. I'm already tapped in. But you said something about being in your own bubble, and I think my reaction to you goes to my Jacksonville, Florida bubble. So, for example, we were just talking about Trick Daddy and down south. But let's take Trick Daddy for example. If I met Trick Daddy, didn't know he made music, and he was acting the way he act, talk the way he talk, and then I heard he was making like Death Grips type music, that would blow my mind. Because in like I would say more Jacksonville, everything's kind of like black and white. It's not like diversity. I feel like once you get to somewhere like London or New York, there's much more like cultural diversity. Everybody like
Oh
in
yeah,
everybody in Jacksonville, Florida is just kind of black and white, just kind of like it is what is you see what you get type of thing. But when I interact with people with different places, like you guys are much more like I feel like multi-layered than somebody that you would run down.
but I feel like you guys really are the blueprint though, because I feel like even like in terms of just like videos, production, all of this shit like filters in. I think all of it does like play a part of like just filtering in to stuff because obviously in UK, you know, I can't lie, like we have grime, like you know what I mean, and like grime is weird, like you know what I mean, like grime is so like to me so experimental that anyone that grew up making grime can go off to do the most like I don't know soundscapey ambient thing because that's where it. I don't know. I always think that where the stuff I stems from grime, like stems from Skepta, stems from Wiley, Linus, Shiesty, and all these people. And I think the trickle effects of then the attitude of hip hop just filters in.
It's almost like culture is crazy. Like I love learning about different types of culture. Like when I was studying for my bachelor's degree, I took I don't know what the word is. Like I don't know what the study of culture is. It's something. It starts with an A. Anthropology.
Anthropology, anthropology.
I took like a intro to anthropology class, and just learning about those different cultures is so interesting
Same,
because
same.
it's so interesting. And like you said, like the grime culture up there. You know, it's something interesting about Florida that I don't think people realize. You know, like on TikTok, everybody like speeds up music, or a lot of people are like releasing a lot of sped up music now in like 2024. Like they speed up their music. They release like an official sped up version of the song, and that's Florida culture. Like ever since I was a little kid, they speed up everything. Like everything is like they call it fast music. Like literally, there's certain people. Like let's say if Kodak drops a song, people would be like, "Yeah, this song is cool, but where's this? Where's the fast version?" Like that's been a thing since I was a child. So it's interesting to see how like culture travels because now everybody is like trying to speed up their music. It's super interesting. And like you said, now you'll see parts of grime in like America now. So it's interesting how like fast culture can travel.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting, and that's why whenever people are always like, when people talk about hyper pop and all these things, and they always try and like say who these white folks are, they're like pioneered. I'm like that. No, it all comes from black music. Like all you have to do is just go to the library once. Was it what library is it? I went to the Shugburg in Harlem. It will just all be a book, and it'll be like this came from this part in I don't know Jamaica in 1944. This everything comes like even if we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of it, even if it's just noise, industrial, rock, um, so anything, it all stems from black people and like black kind of music. So it's very interesting how things get co-opted. Like I think like like you were saying earlier about kind of like music in Florida being like sped up, but like almost if someone did it now, they'd be like, "Oh my god, like this is weird." Like this is they would almost try and put it in like this weird box,
Yeah.
whereas actually it's just the everyday. This is just the everyday.
You know what I hate? I hate when people like I said they'll be like, these are some Gen Z turns, Gen Z terms.
Oh Jesus.
And it'd be like, bro, these are just stuff that niggas say. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, I'm finna go to the bed. I'm finna go to the store. And it's like, what? That's not a Gen Z turn. That's just how black people speak. Like, no cap, dude. And I'm like, bro, what is
I'm
this?
finna,
I hate that.
I'm finna go to the NGL.
That's so
That's
we,
good.
it's funny because the way you said like they'll put it in like oh, like this little weird, quirky thing or whatever. And it's like, this is really like black culture, you know what I'm saying? So I do think a lot of times black culture can get grouped in with things that are like, oh, this is weird or trendy, but it's like, nah, this is like a part of somebody's culture. It's like nobody gets their culture bastardized more than I feel like black people. So
Mhm. Period. It's true. It's true.
I don't know. How do we stop that? Is there any stopping that? We just got to accept that, lay down and just accept it.
If you just lay down and accept it, I think the main thing is to say you just keep going. Like you just keep going, and like you just have to check them. Like if someone's like, oh, like, I remember when I first started, they were like mentioning all these like white people that like I should have been referencing or must be inspired by. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like just say that you're confused that this black girl has made this thing, but don't put me next to some random white person when I'm literally growing up listening to Dizzy Rascal. Like that's literally what like was my favorite artist as a kid. So it's like if I listen to him so many times that I could even hear certain things I do or certain chord progressions or things. I'm like Dizzy would have done it like this. Dizzy would have done it like that as well. So I do think that we all also have to just kind of put our head up high and just like whenever someone says you check them, you go, no, this comes from my mom.
See, I wish because like this goes back to the beginning interview and me saying like this girl watched Love and Hip Hop and make like some of the craziest moves I've ever heard. I even wish sometimes
But
black
Love and Hip Hop is universal.
but look
Love and Hip Hop is universal.
look but my point is I wish imagine you're watching Love and Hip Hop and you hear like a Klein song in between the scene. That would be crazy. That's what I'm saying. I wish black sometimes I wish because
Oh
like
my god.
because think about how segregated those two black groups are because it'd be like you got Love and Hip Hop, but then you got also like people that listen to like Death Grips or Klein. Like, what if both of those like came together? I wish there was more of that type
Oh
of.
just oh oh yeah, or guess what like the jazz had a scene where it's just like them niggas be like, if I mention love and hip hop, they're like, oh, why are you talking about that? I'm like, bruh. My thing is like I definitely have like my qualms with love and hip hop, but the main thing is it wasn't a show that was like that was almost like this like live action archive of like hip hop. I'm sorry, I would have not remembered who Gunplay was, even though he's definitely cancelled. But I would not remember who certain people were. Like I literally forgot about Juice Santana. Like I literally forgot about him. Like I was like, oh yeah, Joe Budden. Oh yeah, this video vixen. Oh yeah, Olivia. Like so I feel like that show was like so instrumental in terms of like literally being this like epicenter that kind of reminded people of people that were forgotten in hip hop. And that's why I like it. Even when I watch it now and it's kind of like the D-list celebrities, it's always someone random. Like it'll be like Debbie Acne, who married Mickey and was Waka Flocka's mom. Like I would have never known who she was or known that there was this like amazing, iconic woman that was behind a lot of these hip hop figures. So I do think that like for me, I'm such a lover of like just music and just like archiving in general that it makes sense. Like that's why I watch Zeus. Like even though that show is wild and I don't know what the future is saying, but the thing is, it's like it's all still encompassing part of hip hop, the good and the bad and the ugly and all of that. I think that's why I watch these shows. Like, I'll be watching Love and Hip Hop and they'll be having a single release party and then the party will be so insane. They'll have like this thing and like this dramatic thing and it's just so theatrical that even that's even filtered into like my live shows, into like just like the drama of it all as well. And then that's why I think like, that would be my dream if I had like a Zeus network. It was like okay, maybe not Zeus, but Love and Hip Hop, maybe the Atlanta, New York. There was just like um, just like a interlude or like one of the fighting scenes. It's just like one of my songs. It's like,
No,
and
that'd
it's
be crazy. That'd be so hard. Just a
like,
bunch of
can you imagine?
chaos going on. That'd be fire. Hey,
Yeah,
anybody from
yeah, that'd be
VH1,
cool.
anybody from VH1 watching this right now, please hit my girl Klein up and let her make some fight music or some type of just anything. Just let her do her thing. You know what I'm saying? Let her put some music in the show because that would be insane. That would be fire.
That'd be fun.
Um, while we're on the conversation of hip hop, I do want to bring this up because I feel like this has been on my brain this entire weekend. And I don't know if a lot of people really watched it outside of like in like little silly Twitter clips. But do you know something amazing happened for hip hop in my opinion this weekend? So the Olympics had like a breakdancing competition, and
Oh,
this white woman is going viral because she just did a terrible job, and it was funny, whatever, whatever. But if you, I
I was
actually
really confused.
it was this. She was like an Australian white woman named Ray Gunn, and she just
It looked
did.
like contemporary dance.
I don't know what she was doing something interesting. Uh, but her aside, I actually watched the entire like men's one, and I watched the women's one. That was like they were playing like classic hip hop songs, classic funk songs. The commentators put a lot of emphasis on like hip hop. This is hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. And I think like to see breakdancing, that was something that's literally like one of the five elements of hip hop to be represented like on an international stage. And you have black people doing the Olympic breakdancing. I just want to say I think that was like one of the most like beautifulest things I've seen because it's like wow, hip hop came from like just a small part in like Bronx. And now it's like on an international level being represented, in my opinion, in a pretty like important and like good way.
I think it's cool. I think it's just one of those things. Same with skateboarding. It's like, hey, it's now the when all the Oyibo, and Oyibo just means white in Yoruba. Yeah, Nigerian. It's usually when the Oyibo people they get involved. That's when everyone's like, okay, now this is the thing. Now this is like, and that's my thing. It's just like, damn, people are really just displaced. This. So I think it's always like a cool thing to see like hip hop elements of hip hop being like represented, but it's always just like damn, like shit.
No, I
You
mean
know what I
it's
mean? And I haven't watched it like because I saw like a clip on YouTube, but I was willing to watch it, but I was scared. I genuinely was scared because I was like, I'm not trying to see some contemporary dances. Because that's the thing. That's what the girl was doing. She was actually doing contemporary and contemporary dancing and like all that. That's cool. I used to do contemporary when I was younger. But break dancing, you need to pop it, break it. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I want
promise.
to see those bones pop.
Yeah, I was about to say, I promise she's not a representation of what happened this weekend. She was her own
Okay,
little
okay,
thing.
okay, okay, okay.
She was in her own world. Like I promise, like literally from like they were playing like classic like Method Man and Redman and just like Wu-Tang and like just like they're
Oh,
like a lot of like hip hop throughout this
wait.
entire thing. They're playing Nas songs. Like they were playing James Brown. Like I'm telling you, it was
Okay,
extremely
okay, 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 okay. I'm going to check it then.
I
What
promise you.
man?
I promise you. They were playing
Serious.
they played a Jay-Z song from like 1991 that I've never heard in my life. Like they were playing like deep cut hip
Oh,
hop.
crazy.
And I'm like, this is actually insane. So I want to tell you, I promise you, like I had the same thing, like, what is this?
Okay.
Like, what is this foolishness that's going on right now? But when you watch it, it's like this is
Okay.
actually crazy. I promise.
I do like the music. I will say that I have appreciated the music. I watched the gymnastics and like
mm,
the music was cool. The music was weird. Like Simone Biles, like the music that she had was very strange and cool. And that was cool. I was like, who is the music supervisor for the Olympics?
I think for that, I think they pick like their own music to like dance to or whatever, which is pretty cool.
That's
And
cool.
for the
That's cool.
breakdancing thing, they had like DJs. So they had like DJs represent like DJs like spinning the it was super, I promise you.
Yeah, that's iconic. Okay, that's
When you
kind of
watch
iconic.
it, you're gonna be like, oh, this is like a really good representation of hip hop outside of old girl doing her, you feel me?
Outside this one lone girl. Okay, 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 okay.
But to you though. I want to talk about specifically your music because I said like I said that I listened to it, then I was like, I have to come back to it because my brain wasn't ready. When my brain was ready, I wrote down some like initial reactions to some of your songs that I like. One of my favorite songs for you is Snippet, the song on Legata. Am I saying that right?
um, yeah, it's on Legato, yeah. It's an
Legata.
old one.
Yes, yes. So that was like one of my first songs that I heard from you. And I wrote down, I said, Snippet on Legata album is nuts. This sounds like if somebody was trying to recover genuine vocals that got distorted. So they use AI, so they use AI to restore the vocals, and then they came back with this. This is amazing. I promise you, that is the biggest comics I love
Thank
genuine.
you.
And the
No,
way you
thank you so
were
much.
singing on that, the way you were singing on that is absolutely freak like that. Like the song is nuts. Like this freaking.
Thank you. Yo, I'll be cringing at like whenever like I hear people hear me sing because like I'm kind of like I don't know, I just cringe. Like I don't know because I'm always like because it just I think something about it just feels so. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know which one is more bad, singing or not singing. It depends. I feel like whatever I do, like the riff and the da da da, I'm like, oh, this is a bit bad. This is a bit much as well. But
No,
thank you.
your singing is great. Like just specifically on that song where it's like chopped up vocals and you pitch down the vocals. You sound like a trained gospel singer on that song to me. Like the way that you're singing with the
Thank you.
and then like, pitch it down.
I did used to watch Sunday. I did used to watch Sunday Best.
Good show.
Um,
Good show.
yeah, really good show. So I'll be even trying to be doing the competition with them back in the day.
That's so funny. So because I have a question about this because we were talking about Kim Burrell and gospel music. So I'm obviously American. I grew up listening to like a bunch of like Southern gospel music. So as
Hmm.
somebody, you're from the UK, how do I say this? Is black gospel music in the UK different from black gospel music somewhere probably like in Mississippi? Like, would you say like it has the same origins or like does it sound completely different? Is there such thing as black gospel music in the UK? Like, what does that sound like?
I honestly wouldn't know.
Mm,
Because my mom listened to mainly American
mm.
gospel. So all the Yolanda Adams and Fred Hammond and yeah. And then my dad's family were Muslim and they just listened to like Wasiu, like just a bunch of like the kind of Fuji music kind of side of things. But then to be fair, my mom was kind of like into like white bands that kind of were like Christian coded. So
Mm,
she really liked like Coldplay.
mm.
And I never thought they were Christian coded until she said it. And I was like, oh my God. And then she liked like Mumford and Sons. And I listened to them when I was younger, mainly because of her. But these were like all these like weird white bands that were kind of like Christian coded as well. So it was between that, my dad's side of things. And then she just mainly just listened to, yeah, just American gospel. I wouldn't really know about the UK gospel, black gospel scene like that. Because even like black R&B, UK black R&B, it's just not pushed as much to the mainstream like that. Like they all have to leave to make it. But yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Y'all got an insane R&B scene. So it's crazy that they're not pushed because there's this girl named Oh Jeremy who's really talented. There's
Oh,
this
I love her. I love
she's
her so
different.
much.
She's different. She is so good. And it's like
Like,
she should be way bigger. She's super duper talented, you know?
it's it's so crazy. There was a time that I was at this label that was like trying to sign me, and I remember, I guess at the time they were trying to sign me, and I went and I was like, "Listen, man, y'all gotta work with her." And then they did. They then started proceeding to play me this like biracial R&B singer that I should work with, and I was like, "Damn," because I was even like, "Fuck my situation." Jeremy is the one as well. And obviously, I'm biased because she's half Nigerian as well. But for me, like, yeah, I see her as like a very, 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 very super talented um, singer, an artist coming out of London. So I think I be praying every day for everyone. So I think inshallah we're gonna pray. But you know what? In the next few years, she's gonna be remembered as definitely as like such a powerhouse to come out of UK and also South London, if I'm correct. I think she's also from South London as well. So yeah, I love her.
What is it about somebody like you, I know Jeremy, where like I don't know if you put her in the same category with you in the sense where it feels like you would have to move out of UK, move out of the UK to have like a bigger name. Do you feel that about yourself as well? The same way you feel somebody like probably like her? Or do you think you could actually build like a bigger fan base in the UK?
Um, I guess how I see myself in comparison to I don't know. I'm not really. I don't really want anything for myself, really. That's the thing. Like it's okay. Like I feel happy in kind of where I am, and uh, if things get bigger, I might get scared, and that is something that I'm aware of. Whereas for other people, I'm like, nah, y'all got to be superstars. Sometimes you need other people to be superstars, and then I can just do my own beat beat bop bop, and then just be the plus one, and that's kind of like what I would prefer. I feel like a lot of like artists, I guess if you are trying to like kind of become more visible, it does make sense going to America because shit. Whereas in UK, I think there is this kind of weird, hmm, it's like this really weird undertone, but it's a strong undertone of racism. And I think just the reality of it is like they don't push or support black artists unless you're in a black white duo. They love a black white duo in this country.
In
Like
America
they
or
love. Well,
is it in America or the UK?
no, in UK they love a black white duo. If you're like white adjacent and you're just like you're black and you're just with the white people, them they love that. If you're fair skin, that's like pushed more. If you're a white band singing R&B, they love that. And I think and even though if it's funny because if I mention it, they look at me like, oh, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "It's the truth," and that's like you see that a lot. Whereas I guess in America, shit, black people be like, shit, they just can't. Black people in America definitely can't lie. Like if something is fire, it's fire in it. Like if someone can sing, they can sing. If someone could shit play the guitar and they're shredding and they're doing this, they're like, oh shit, this is fire. Whereas in UK, they're like, but is it really you playing the guitar? No, but it's true. They'll be like, oh my god, like it's so amazing, great album. It was you sampling the guitar, right? I was like, dang, y'all niggas saw me play the guitar, and but they're like, oh no, 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 no. So it's like this like weird kind of like undertone, and I can imagine that being very, very difficult if you were trying to make it, but like even the idea of like making it and is that personally as well, I don't think even if people can leave and go to America, I think it's too much of like a cop out. I feel like you just need to build a community. Like you just gotta like just lock in. That's why I love like the drill dudes. They ain't even been to New York. They'll be like, okay, who's in my block? Who's in my neighborhood? And I think that's how you kind of gather a community where it's like you just lock in with like, damn, like, okay, my high school friends, this da 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 da, and it does exist. So I do feel like people need to. But I guess if you're thinking in an individual way and in an individualistic way, it's very easy to be like, okay, I need to leave. I need to leave and get out of here. But if you're thinking of it in like a kind of like, hey, we could all lock in,
Like a
it's
collective.
like you could actually be, yeah, you could actually build something because there is enough black people here. There's black people that like noise music. There's black singers that make R&B in UK. But again, like shit, people are really trying to make it. Shit, that shit must be mad competitive. Or yeah, I think competitive. Yeah, competitive. So I guess probably maybe people won't want to link up, but I don't know. But I don't think. I think a few years ago I used to subscribe to the American Dream. I'm just like, okay, this is just a bunch of like American exceptionalism, and it's like it's not even real. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not even real. So I'm rambling,
No,
but yeah,
no,
ah,
no, you just made me
those are my juices.
realize it's that apple juice has got you turned. Um, I didn't realize this. So you just said it, but like, yeah, like y'all do push a lot of light, bright people out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all biggest rapper right now is that nigga light as bright. He light as the bright. You feel me? The Central C nigga. That nigga is I don't even know what his race is, but he's something. And
But you don't. And that's even they love that. I think that's the thing. It's like with UK, it's like it's more exciting. It's more exciting if the person is like lighter or brighter or even
yeah,
whereas like oh another drill another dark nigga oh god not another one. But if it was a white boy, ooh, if it was like an ambiguous person, it's like ooh, this is like Central C is no different. He is not the best rapper coming out of UK. He's really talented. I actually do like his cadence a lot. And yeah, good looking or whatever, I guess to people. But bruh, no. There's so many fucking incredible MCs coming out of UK that are just insane. Like rappers that make most craziest beats who are interesting, got hooks for days. Nah, because it doesn't fit, still doesn't fit into this like kind of, because if you think of it, it's all just how you can market someone or how you can package someone. They're not trying to market like someone that's just like, oh, it's just another dark skin guy. It's like if he's another dark skin guy and has like I don't know, like I don't know when Dave was they were pushing Dave's album, they had this guy called like Fraser T. Smith or something. He like produced Dave's like big album. And I was like, why do you have this boring ass white guy? And it was like this like therapy album. Sorry for the no. But it was like the album for Dave that like got this award was like this like white guy interviewing him and like playing the piano. So like I feel like I don't know, it's this thing that like white people still have to feel something,
mm,
even Dave, to make it. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, same as Stormzy, white women had to fancy him for them to write about him. Shit, what if he was a nerd? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Stormzy's great, but again, this is what I mean. I think it's just, I think when you kind of process the people that are kind of running, I guess, the music scene in UK is different from America. It's really just like, just withered white people, man, or just like like the white girls that will push you in the club. They're the ones like the journalists in the dip dye. And it's like, oh god. It then kind of explains kind of what's kind of coming out. But I will say the internet is so amazing, and I feel like there's been a lot of artists that are like black, like I guess for Jeremy, who just kind of bypassed that
Yeah.
because it's like, yo, fuck the press, fuck the media.
Yeah.
This is real life. You know what I mean? Kids are like, we fuck with this. And I think that's why the internet is so sick now, because you kind of, we're not in the 50s anymore. You don't have to go through these kind of routes. You can just upload stuff and
Yeah.
boom, it links to other people.
I'm trying to
I feel
think.
like I'm rambling. Oh
No,
my
you're
God.
not. You got me thinking because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I agree with you because you're saying like it's different in the US as it is in the UK when it comes to that. And I'm trying to feel like, is that true? Because like, hmm, what makes you say that? Like, what makes you think you need more of a white approval in the UK than you do over here?
I don't think you need a white approval. It's just that is the approval.
Yeah.
Like that's the people that are like um but the thing is that there's actually like a lot of black media in UK. But
Mm.
again, people just there is a lot of colorism um that people are in denial about in the UK. And just I think kind of the racism is so embedded. So shit, you have black people being like they don't even realize they're kind of even part of it as well and engaging with kind of with it as well. So that's my main thing. Whereas America, America is trash as well. But one thing about America is very capitalist.
Yeah.
Like America is such a like capitalist like country, and the racism is quite loud. I think UK why is more harder to thingy because it's a bit more.
Mm, I get what you're saying. I get what you're
It's
saying.
like bubbling. It's like literally like the movie Get Out.
I get what you're
Like
saying.
Get Out sums up like the European kind of racism that we experience.
Like you said, like when you look at American racism, you go on Twitter, you just see somebody just say like you see a white person say nigga or whatever, and it's like, God damn. But like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the UK, it's a little bit more submersive and a little bit more.
Sorry, it's really loud.
No, you're good. No, 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 you're good.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm in this space, but there's a kid. He's crying.
I can't even hear him. That's how good your headphones are. I don't even hear the
Okay.
kid crying.
Oh, she like this kid like stared at me. She was adorable, and then she cried.
Oh
I was
no,
like, damn.
God. Maybe he was like, this is my favorite artist, Klein. Yeah. He was like, he just cried because he met his favorite
It's
artist.
like, oh my god.
Has that happened?
No,
Have you met anybody that's like freaked out that's met you on some just like you mean so much to me, like in person where they were just like going crazy?
some people. Well, I think it's always confused me. I
Hmm.
think because I'm just like I just live in my own bubble, and I think it was much easier to gauge things when I had Instagram. And I think Instagram, yeah, like yo, they comment and it's this like immediate thing. So I think since being off it for a few years, whenever someone says they like my thing or whatever, I'm just like, how do you even come across me? That's my main thing. I'm always like, how and what song? Like I'm just like really intrigued, and I'm like, do you listen to me solo or with others? Like I just have like other questions. But I think it's more like yeah, the kid is staring, she's staring at me again. Yo,
But
she's trying to fight me.
I would say, what if he just comes for an autograph? What if he's just like, hey, you're my favorite person? You know what
No,
I'm
I need I need to give her autograph,
saying?
making a scene.
You
But
know,
yeah,
you know, what's the best thing about you is that like because like I said, after finding out who you were, then start digging into like everything about you. I know you say like you don't have aspirations to be this superstar, this the biggest person on planet or whatever, but I do think more people need to learn about you because you have so many ideas in your brain and you're so like interesting that I could see somebody might not like in this idea, but they love this idea because not only do you make music, you write scripts and you want to do TV and like you're scoring your own like little like mini docs and stuff like that. And I find that so interesting because I feel like those, like just reading some of your like your sitcom that you wrote. Like I was reading that, and I just think
Ah,
that like it's just like, man, I could see this being on some like streaming platform and people really enjoying
thank
this, like
you.
an actual like live
Tubi.
action acting or whatnot, you know? Hey, hey,
Yo, listen, I'm trying to lock in with Tubi, quite frankly.
hey, Tubi, I heard Tubi
I've been talking to them. No,
hey,
I was actually talking to them a few months ago. So,
I could see that being like a main feature on Tubi, just reading it.
thank you.
And I'm a person that usually needs to like see something in live action before I say that, but just reading the script, I'm like, this is interesting enough. This is, and you're funny as hell. Like I like that was another thing I was not expecting. I'm like, she is so funny. And you could hear that. I mean, you could see that within the things that you write, your video ideas. And I just want to say that I know you might not want to aspire to be that star or whatever, but I think the world may need to just see these ideas, even if you almost like disattach
I
yourself.
want
I would love to see it
to.
at a
Okay.
bigger stage.
No, thank you. No, thank you so much. I feel like the ideas, like I would love to, because even the sitcom you were talking about, I actually made it into a play. I just need to just upload it. It was just so much footage, but like I'll be having so many ideas for like films and whatever. But I think it's less. I think it's more about like kind of the actual work and less about the me.
Mm.
Like you know what I mean? I think I think that's like my main thing is just like if you can share the work and kind of get that out, and then someone else, it sparks someone else to have an idea to
Mm.
do something, and then it's not, I think it's more this like kind of domino effect of because I know how me coming across the plate drama, which was like this amazing TV show I watched as a kid, and it was like you kind of like it's like almost like a choose your adventure type style like grime drama that literally directly inspired me to make scripts that were like that weird.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm sure those guys didn't even think that it would like trickle into all these things. And so that's my main thing about kind of like, hopefully what I do can inspire someone else to make some crazy shit. And then they make crazy shit and then someone else make more crazy stuff. And then eventually it leads me back to Soldier Boy and I on a boat driving,
See, that's what
chilling.
I need these crosses of worlds. Like I need to see I need to see Tia Kemp and Tokyo Tony in like a play of yours. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to see them
No,
move.
no, Tokyo Tony. If she was in Palm Trust, that play, the sitcom, play sitcom, if she was in it, she would be iconic. Like she's so like, I feel like for me to come to her, I need to get like a grant or something because I want to give her the guap. Because if I come to her and I'm like, oh, there isn't a budget, but like, she will actually fight me. So I need to come correct. So I'm gonna get my guap up, and then I'm gonna help Tokyo, and then it's gonna be a wrap. Even just all of them, her, Tia Camp, Blueface's mom, like they're all iconic, quite frankly.
You're so funny. It's so interesting because do you have any like because I know you said you was like I don't want anything for myself, but let's say like just light aspirations. Would you ever be into like scoring a film? Not like something that you wrote, but just like maybe somebody comes with you just an idea. Like is that something that you're open to in scoring films or stuff like TV shows and stuff like that?
You know what? That would be. I'm thinking about a TV show. I feel like that would be cool. I would, yeah, I would definitely like to. I actually did score a film. Can't really say too much about it, but it might be coming out this year
Okay.
or next year,
Yeah.
or maybe this year. And that was really fun and difficult as well. I think that was something that I've always been like, oh, I want to score a film, I want to score a film, and then when it actually happened, I was like, oh my god, this is hard because I think having to do everything yourself, and I'm someone that doesn't normally save files. So if someone's like, oh, can you go back and change this? I'm like, oh, I didn't even save that. So I think that kind of forced me to be a bit more organized. So I definitely I feel like that film that I did the score for, it feels right. I definitely love to do like more children's television stuff. Like, like Courage the Cowardly Dog, if they like, if there was like a new one, or like Peppa the Pig, like stuff like that would be really cool as well.
Really quickly, I have to
But
say
I
this.
don't know, like,
No, no,
but
no.
I feel like, what do you say?
No, sorry, I
But
didn't cut you off. Keep going, keep going.
but I would say I don't know, like I think scoring would be cool. Like I think I definitely, but I feel like that because it's just like my things I do every day. That would be cool, but I think doing something like Pepper the Pig would force me to like think about what happiness or like happy kids music looks
Mm.
like to me. And I think that would be like a really nice like challenge. I probably like to like act or like do like a one movie, like just one movie that is just like boom, Oscar,
Yeah,
Oscar bait, and then I fall off. I think yeah, I would definitely yeah. I feel like acting, yeah, more TV stuff.
yeah.
But I don't know. There's so many random shit. Like I remember I wanted to make like toilet seats like 2 years ago because I was like I need to be rich because I didn't have money, and I was like, oh, I just need to make toilet seats.
That's a
So
that's a
I need
great
to,
that's a great just like damn, I'm broke right now. What do I need to do? Make toilet seats. That's a great just
but it's like but you need a little bit of money to make toilet seats. So I was
yeah.
just like, okay, we've got to build it up. We got to build it up. So maybe I'll make a sculpture piece of a toilet seat,
Mm.
and then if I sell it, then I go and find an investor that funds me to make toilet seats. Well, not even toilet seats, just actual toilets, like an actual toilet.
I've been saying for the longest that there's a need for face-to-face toilets. Somebody got
No, that's yeah. So that was things. There's like some few things. But I feel like the things that I have aspirations for, like less like musical stuff, or
mm,
just more like you know some stuff that I can't really talk about. Um,
okay.
but you'll see. That's what I'm gonna say.
I got super excited when you said Peppa Pig, and I cut you off at everything because I've been
Oh,
wanting.
so I couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what do you say?
I said I got super excited when you said Peppa Pig. I cut you off at everything because I've had this thought in my head for the past 3 years about Peppa Pig that I've been waiting to say, and this is the perfect time to say it. There's this sound that repeats throughout Peppa Pig throughout the entire show all the time, and it sounds just like the beginning of Brown Sugar by D'Angelo. I don't know if anybody's ever made
Oh,
a connection, but there's
oh, I
this
need to see this.
that's always made throughout Peppa Pig. And every time I hear it, I say, this sounds just like Brown Sugar by D'Angelo. If anybody knows what I'm talking
Maybe
about,
they know.
if anybody knows what I'm talking
Yeah,
about, if the niggas at Peppa Pig are D'Angelo stands, that would be the funniest thing of all time.
that'd be great. No, but the thing is, one of the girls that was they're tapped in because one of the girls that writes for Peppa the Pig used to follow me on Instagram. And I remember before I deleted my Instagram, I was like, bruh, I'm gonna get your email real quick. And she was like a fan of my music. And I was like, oh my God, I will quit everything to work for you guys. So I think they just finished the season. And then I think she moved on to another company or something like that. And I was like, oh my God.
For a
And that
second,
was like crazy.
for a second,
Because they're tapped in,
when you said you had some stuff you can talk about, I was about to be like, you're gonna be the new lead voice of Peppa Pig next season.
Oh my God. I think my aspirations are bigger than just the Peppa the Pig. But speaking of Peppa the Pig, they had like an album that came out maybe a year ago. Oh my God, it's so good. The last album that Peppa Pig did. So even I think even Pitchfork even gave it a good review. I couldn't believe it. The Pitchfork they be so funny sometimes, but Peppa the Pig doesn't even need a review. That album was crazy. I think it was like Let's Jump In or something like that, and I was like, I'm trying to look for a Peppa the Pig album. But I was very very surprised.
Is it my
Yeah,
first
it's called
album?
my first. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's my. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's my first album.
Cause she do got one called Let's Jump In.
Yeah,
She got a bunch of albums. She been jamming. I ain't even
yeah.
know.
I think no, I think it might be Let's Jump In.
Well, let me see which
No,
one.
it's Let's Jump In.
Let me see which one Pitchfork reviewed.
But it has like it's just so weird because they have like this like interlude that is so weird as well. I think it might be the Let's Jump In album.
Uh,
Oh yeah, it is. You see, they even have like a sped up dance remix. Oh yeah,
really?
yeah. My favorite song is Peppa Favorite Places because it kind of sounds like a weird like Hillsong gospel song.
Which album?
It's called Let's Jump In, but the song is called Peppa's Favorite Places. And like this song, I remember I heard it when I was just on the bus. And like, ask me why like a little tear was bubbling in my eyes.
Did you
I
hear
was
it?
like,
I
no,
played a little bit of it. This right here.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it.
I
That's
can't hear it, but I
that's
remember it.
crazy. Wow. So you know what's wild? So okay, so Zoom blocks music. I don't know how they do that. That's insane that they know that I'm playing music. That's crazy. But you know what's wild? I was playing the snippet song earlier, yours, and you didn't even hear it. You didn't hear me playing that, did you? That's so
You were
interesting.
playing what? I mean, oh my
I,
God. I can't even hear you anymore. Sorry, it's getting louder here.
am I good? Am I good? You hear me?
Wait. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm trying to think if I should. Nah, stay here. I was thinking if I should leave, but then I'll just stay.
If I'm all good, you hear me? I'm good. So like I said, it's
I,
interesting that Zoom can block out like music because I played music and you could hear it. But I said I played your snippet song earlier and you didn't even hear me playing that, did you? That's so weird. Like, because I just played the Peppa the Pig song and they're like, "You're trying to play audio right now? You're not allowed." That's crazy that they could pick that up.
yo, no, the Zoom are like, yo, we've got that copyright.
That
I'm
is
like, it's Zoom. Like,
that's
I
crazy.
mean, back in the day, Zoom, you could play anything. Now they're just like, sorry, mate.
No, nigga. That's funny. Um, but no, so yes, like I said, going back to you and your music, Marked. So I listened to Marked when I think somebody told me it came out. They was once again, a lot of people that watch me love you. So I just want to say like people
Oh,
that
period.
people that subscribe to me, I think they're gonna go crazy when they see it because they are the reason that I even gave you a listen because I heard you like I said on the Mike album. I was like, she's good. But then they're like, no, you
Shout
have
out to Mike, by the way. Shout
shout
out
out
to
to Mike.
Mike,
Shout
period.
out to Mike.
My favorite rapper.
Before we get into Mark, how did you and Mike meet?
I feel like I came across him on the internet, and then I was friends with Taka, um, New York Taka, and I'm still friends with him. And honestly, he, when we became friends, when I got off Instagram, I would just always Zoom all the time. And essentially, I was just like Taka's friend that was always on Zoom when Mike and all the other guys were there. And they'd be like, oh, you're right. You're right. And then, like, over the years, I literally felt like I knew them because I would always, like, talk to them on Zoom. And so it was definitely like a kind of like an online kind of sudden kind of friendship. And then we just met. I don't even remember when we met. Probably 2019, 18, I don't know. And then we just met and it was just like, yes, my little brother, basically. But it's kind of crazy because I'm literally just like, I don't know, I'm the biggest Mike fan. I'm like the freakazoid. So when we became friends, I was like, I still can't be normal because I'm just like his biggest fan. So I'm just like this, I'll just be like this. Like I feel like I see Mike as like, like I'll put him up there with like the Jay-Z's and whatever.
Mm.
And just because that's what he's to me. So I think yeah, we met online, but through Taka basically.
How was it?
And the
So
rest is history.
how was it to make a song one of your favorite rappers then? You know, when you, like you first made like the I Party Park song. How did that happen?
Um, I think it was lockdown. I feel, and then he sent me the song, and it was actually titled Sheila, and then he changed it, and he's you want to do something? And normally I'm not like usually if someone asks me to sing, I used to be strict, man. If someone asks me to sing, I'm like, listen, you might be blocked for 3 years because that's not kind of like that's not kind of I don't know. It's not like something that I really like, especially at the time. I didn't really like whenever people just ask me to sing. I'm like, bro, like I can play keys, I can do this, I can do that. Whereas when Mike messaged me and I heard the song, I just felt so like kind of emotional. And I was
Mm.
like, shit. I was like, girl, this is not even about you, fam. This is not even this song is. And then I just started kind of writing kind of a hook that was kind of centered around grief and like in the midst of him talking about his life and all these things happening, I was like, okay, I really want to make this hook that is just kind of the center point of what actually is going on. Like, you know, sometimes it's like the mask we present and then what's actually happening. And I wrote this thing about grief, and then I was I was kind of thinking of the classic early 2000s book, and I was like, oh, yeah, I think the song needs that. Like it doesn't, because I remember like recording a bunch of, because my natural brain would go into, I just stretch the voice, and I was like, no, I was like, this song kind of needs just like a almost the kind of early 2000s standard hook, standard hook that you know a mom, a kid, a baby would like. And I did it. I sent it to him. I didn't hear back from him for ages, and I was like, oh my god, I ruined it. Oh my god, Mike hates me. I was just like thinking he hates me or whatever, and then he just messaged me back. I was like, this is amazing, and I thank you so much. And I was like, wait, what? And then the song got. I think when it was about to get mastered, I was still like, nah, nah. And then when it got mastered, I was like, oh shit. And I think I was definitely like very surprised. I felt weird. I think having like a song. I think even felt weird to be in the video just because I'm there in the HD. But I think making the song was. I think I think writing it was one of the most terrifying and most beautiful experiences I had because it just didn't feel real. Like it just didn't feel real as well. But it's funny how it's the voice that brings everything back. But yeah, I think Safari Park was yeah, and then I did that, and then I kept moving and did a bunch of random stuff as well. So it's kind of cool to have that song exist. So I think actually one of my favorite things I've done for Mike is for the last album was the interlude, the Nicki Minaj interlude. That for me was my favorite part, intro, because I like a bit of a dramaticness fun into things. But yeah,
You like
yeah.
dramatic stuff because you say like you touched on the love and hip hop dramatic scenes in like the single parties and your sitcom has like dramatic scenes and stuff like that. Like you're into that type of you know
Oh yeah. I like like the thing is that I'm Nigerian, so I grew up watching Nollywood.
ah
And I'm from the Yoruba tribe, so we're the most dramatic like people that I know. So I think when you grow up like watching Nollywood, that's just embedded into you. It's just like how like each scene is like like the way like the delivery is just so well. But yeah.
I feel like it comes through in your music and like you did such a good job on that Sheila Sheila never like the way you were singing that you sounded so beautiful
Thank
and
you.
it's interesting because you said your initial reaction too when people definitely at that time was hey sing hey sing for me uh yeah they are turned up in the background I could definitely hear them now that's so funny um but yeah did it does it rub you the wrong way when people go to you for vocals rather for playing instruments and stuff like that?
No, not anymore. I think before I just used to be pressed because I was just more like, shit, like there's other stuff I do. I think, especially how I am, I feel like whenever I've come across someone that even if they sing but like they make other things, I'm gonna ask them for the other thing.
Mm,
That's my thing. I'll just be like, shit, you might need to add this little piano thing here and this other. thing. Whereas at the time, I think it was like a period of like, I think I'll say from 2017 to 20, I think 3 years where it was just that back to back, back to back, back to back, back to back. I was like, y'all will never hear me sing ever in my life, ever again. And so I think that kind of influenced me in a place. But then now I don't like I don't care. But I think for me, the way I see like vocals is like I'm just quite intentional about it. Do you know what I mean? I think that song, If I Park, needed a vocal. Like it didn't need an additional piano thing or da 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 because Mike had already done that and it was sounded already perfect to me. So it needs that. And there's like some songs where it's like, it needed like I don't know, what was it? Cabo, like Dean Blunt, with a little la 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 la, because the song's already done. And it's like, and then there's like other things, other songs where I'm like, oh, actually, it needs a bridge here. It needs an additional guitar lick here or string here. I can add this here. So I think I'm more intentional. So even on Mark, like there's 3 vocals in that album, an a cappella, one was me and my friend Simpa, and then that last song, which was like kind of like a rap song. So it was all kind of intentional because I think all the other songs, the it spoke for itself without me needing to add voice to it.
And I know
Basically.
I know at the beginning of this you were talking about like making music about like how you feel on the inside. When you made Marked, was that like was that just like kind of like how you felt at the time while making that, or did you have to channel that energy to make that album?
Like I literally was in New York. The day I took that selfie, that's the album cover, was the day I even made that like made 70% of that record. I went into the studio, I got a guitar, I ran some of it through Pro Tools, some of it through Ableton, and then I just played. I just played. It was actually the first record I've made in a very long time that whatever came out just came out. Like it wasn't really. And I think Enemy of the State, which other one? Gift of Sophia. I might have finished those ones at home, but all the guitar kind of led ones was all done that same day. The same day I took that picture, and it was super organic. Like I was more because I think with me as well with like guitar playing, I've always done it in live shows, but I've always kind of been a bit not shy about it, but I would just be like, play a little bit, loop it, play a little bit, loop it. Whereas like, this was the first time that I was like, nah, we gotta bring shredding back. Like I was like, like I love like shredding. Like when I was younger, like I loved like all them guys like Jimi Hendrix. I loved Genesis, the band that Phil Collins was in. But they were all just like so self-indulgent. Like self-indulgent, like especially with the song like Blow the Whistle, like the guitar playing on that had me weak because it was just like shredding. It was shredding. And I think I remember that day being like, okay, don't be shy about shredding. It's kind of funny. It felt very like I felt like I was in my dad rock era,
Mm.
and but it was really kind of the first record in a long time that no, I wasn't really going into a zone. So I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna have a nice day, and I think that's why even that picture is really funny because it was like I was like, oh, I had a nice day today, and that's nice, and I feel proud of myself for today, and that's okay. And that was it, really.
No, there's a lot of shredding on this album. There's a lot of like heavy guitars, and it's like an album. How can I put this? So like this feels like it should be like if I because in my head I either do this for albums. I either one I hear a song or and I'll make like a video in my head. Like I'll direct a whole video for a song in my head. I do that all the time. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if you do that, but I do that
No, no,
for
that's iconic. But No, but you need to start making films then, period.
Probably. I either do that or I'll be like, I need this to be over an existing movie. So like I'll put it like in a scene of a movie or a video game or something like that. And like this album, I just thought of like the most just like insane video. I'm like, there needs to be like in a video game where it's just like a nigga like in the pits of hell, just like killing dudes or something. That needs to be Mark. Like that's the video, that's the soundtrack for Mark, you know? I don't know if you can see that, but that's where I had to get in my head.
I I think pits of hell. You know what? That could be. You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of like like Mad Max.
Yeah.
You know the scene when they're like just chase. Just the car chase scenes. That could be kind of cool as
That's another
well.
good one. Yeah, that's another good one for sure.
Yeah,
Another good one for sure. I
yeah. A little George Miller
yeah,
thing.
that, that could be
Yeah,
it.
I see that. You know what? We gonna manifest this. We gonna manifest this. Like I love like because the thing is I actually love video games. Like I don't play as much as I used to, but I watch a lot of gameplay videos, and that would be cool. Like yeah, Resident Evil. I was gonna say Resident Advisor, but I mean, Resident Evil would be my dream.
Yeah,
Or even Call of Duty. Actually, no, not Call of Duty. It's a bit of a army propaganda. Yeah, that or like Life is Strange. If they ever made another Life is Strange game, that would be cool.
I've only played the first Life is Strange. I love that game so much. That game is so
Yo, that game, I made everyone in my life watch that film. And because I made everyone watch the gameplay videos, and then everyone has to watch like five. And then did you watch the Corey Stefan one?
I have not watched any gameplay footage of Life is Strange. I've only played it.
The gameplay ones are so good. They're so good because but it's such a crazy game though. Like it's so like kind of dark,
It
very
is
American,
very dark.
very American as well. But
Can I
that was one of my favorite games
can
as
I give
well.
you a game to watch the gameplay of because you like the drama and you like the gripping stories. This game possibly is the has my favorite like story of all time. It's Yakuza Zero. There's like seven
Wait,
Yakuza games. So Yakuza
wait, hold on. Let me write.
for sure.
Wait,
Yakuza
how do you spell it?
Yakuza
AK.
Uza Zero. Yakuza Zero.
Zero.
Yeah. So Yakuza, I don't know if you know what that is, but Yakuza is like the Japanese mob. And like that's like their mob over there. It's called the Yakuza or the Yakuza, however they want to
Oh
pronounce it. And they
wow.
have a game about it, and there's like seven of them. But the story for Zero, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it real. A nigga almost shed some thug tears by the end of that game. It was some real
Yes. Oh
stuff.
my god.
They almost shed some thug tears watching that. So or playing that. So I would say go whenever you get a chance. Watch somebody play Yakuza Zero.
Oh.
You're gonna love it. Yeah,
Period.
that's Majima son. Majima son right there.
Oh well, let's go.
My
Okay,
guy
this is
Majima
crazy.
son. So yeah, whenever you
Yeah, I
get a
need to
chance,
find some new gameplay folks because there used to be more black YouTubers. There used to be a few, and they've all just like quit. They're like, fuck this shit, we're out of here.
maybe you pick up where they left off at.
Yeah. The thing is, I be getting too scared, that's why I can't play a game. Like I will watch someone play a game before
You scared
I
of?
touch those.
Or are you scared of like actually playing the game? Like you like stuff that happens in the game kind of scare you?
Yeah, like I feel like I don't like things that I don't know what's gonna happen.
Mm,
Like if it's unpredictable, like that's why like, I'll be watching the same films and be watching the same shows. There's like a name for it. There's like a scientific term for people that don't like change in things.
mm.
So yeah, I tend to like films that or games that I can gauge what's happening. It's not going to be too scary. Even if it's a game, I'm still like,
Well, I can assure you, Yakuza Zero is not scary. It's just much more of like a gripping. It's almost like it gets like heartwarming type of story towards the end. So
hey, I'll watch it. I'll watch it today, maybe actually.
really good. Shout out to Yakuza Zero. But yeah, like I said, when I listen to your music, my brain usually it pairs it with video games. I don't know why. And I know, like you said, I know you watch video games. I'm tapped. Like I said, I've seen you talk about this one black girl who does Sims video games or Sim gameplays that you watch. I forget her name. What's her name?
No color, no color.
Yes, that's her.
I feel like I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but I love her.
And
I love her.
I think I don't know if I seen that and I just started pairing it up, but I feel like and just like, man, this is very like video game y. You know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like you do such a good job building your community and like telling people like really love you because I was in the Klein server earlier and just like looking at like all the people like interacting with you and whatnot. And like you've built like a very gripping community. And that's why I think people love you. Outside of you being
Oh, thanks.
talented, I feel like people like you as a human. You know what I'm saying? Just on a human level, I feel like you're very
I'm
like
like, y'all don't know me. I'm crazy. So that's like, I really be like, just whatever version y'all have of me. It's not, but no, but that's, I guess that's nice. I guess like the snippet that you guys see, you like, which is cool. And yeah, my child's is really funny. Um, yeah, it's a funny place. People have been posting some really crazy music recently. That like on some like, I was like, damn, it's amazing. Like, I just be going on there if I want to just like watch like an interesting film. I was like, oh, okay, let's see what's, oh, okay. Someone just posted some interesting, weird animation. Sure. So it's a pretty cool place.
you're into documentaries too, right?
Yeah, yeah, somewhat,
I said
somewhat.
somebody linked a very interesting documentary in the server. It was like somebody like I guess like some people got kidnapped in North Korea and they forced them to like make a documentary
Oh,
in North Korea or something like that.
oh shit. No, I think I saw that on my thing, but I hadn't clicked it yet. No, no, no. Okay, that looks crazy.
That did look crazy. I was gonna ask you.
I like documentaries. What is it?
I was gonna ask you, did you have any recommendations, like any good documentary recommendations?
I would say you should watch Last Angel of History.
Hmm.
It was um, done by John Okompa and Edward George, and written by Edward George. Incredible, incredible documentary. It's like a sci-fi documentary on British music.
What is it again? What
Yeah,
is it?
Last Angel. I'm Last Angel of History.
All right, I got it. Los Angeles history.
So I would recommend that. My friend Josie, she made a documentary called Marlon's World,
Okay.
and that's probably one of the best documentaries I've seen. Pretty crazy as well. Um, it's like centered around this guy, this black guy that used to be an extra. He'd like he'd been in so many he'd been an extra in so many things, but he kind of his life took a very interesting turn, and she kind of spent a few weeks with him, or something like that. And what about documentaries? Oh, six till six by Mustafa and Aaron. That's really good as well. It's like a documentary on East London. It's
Mm,
really funny and kind of sad as well. But like, yeah, it's like those three.
I got all that written down. Um, trying to think of a good one for you. I'll think of something for this interview. Right? I think of a good recommendation for you before this is over. I'll think of a good one.
Okay.
And it's interesting because
Yeah.
I know we were talking about you doing other things outside of singing. Hey, I do more. Do you play the trumpet? You know, play the trumpet?
Do I play the trumpet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I play the trumpet, but not. I play like a modified trumpet.
Hmm. What
So
is it?
it normally kind of plays out more drony sounds.
Um,
So that's what I used to play for like a couple of years, basically.
could I
But
like
not a trumpet in it didn't really sound like a traditional trumpet. It just kind of sounded like a that kind of vibe.
what would I have to Google to find what this trumpet looks like?
Um, it exists online. If there's like any photos of me online with a trumpet, um, a friend of mine took a picture of me in a New York tee and like some fake Gucci or something, and I'm playing this actual trumpet, and it's kind of like it looks kind of like broken. It kind of looks like a very like Terminator.
Sounds fire. I wish I typed in Klein trumpet on Google and a bunch of old white men popped up, so I don't think this is the trumpet that you're
Hey,
uh
hey, okay, okay, okay. We're gonna turn this around. We're gonna turn this around. But yeah.
that's super duper funny. But no, I say that to because I was well, that just kind of changed the whole question because I was gonna ask like, would you ever like have like a full trumpet album? But I don't even know if this I don't know if that would work with the type of trumpet you have. Like I don't know how that would sound for a full album. But is that something you ever thought about? Because like the same way Mark is heavy on guitars, would you ever do a heavy on trumpet type of album?
Yeah, I guess that would be cool. But like I feel like it depends on I feel like I'm more likely to have like a harmonica based album
Mm,
than a trumpet based album. Because I feel like the harmonica is always like looked down at the as if like it's in the bottom of the barrel kind of instrument. And it's actually one of my favorite instruments that I've played. So I feel like I'm more likely because even I remember when I was working on the Hamilton record, I had some harmonica, like not harmonica, like trumpet thrown in. I just got bored. I
mm.
just got bored of it. But whereas the harmonica is very interesting because it's all like blue. You can really kind of play around with it and like stretch it out, manipulate it, reprogram it. And so I didn't really think if I was to do that, it'd probably be more harmonica based
Harmonica
or
is
like just a
underrated.
piano based
Piano based.
or a piano based. Yeah, piano based.
The harmonica is such an underrated instrument to me. Like that's like you said, it is
Right?
con is like I don't know, it's almost like the homeless nigga instrument or something like the way people look at it, just like
Mm-hmm.
just the whatever. But like you go look at like a video of Stevie Wonder playing the harmonica, and you don't tell me that's like beautiful, you know? Like it's some very beautiful harmonica work that I've heard out there. So
Yeah. I think with harmonica, it's just like it's mad spiritual. That's the thing with harmonica is that you can't really. That's something that just comes from the heart,
yeah.
and that's why I like the harmonica because it's like yeah, it removes this hierarchy of like the instrument. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, that's why I like the harmonica.
I could I could definitely talk to you all day. I will not take I will
By
not
the way,
take
I love your clock. By the way,
Grant, you're the second person to ever take notes of this clock. Shout out to you.
yeah, yeah, it's really cool.
Thanks, shout out to God for the clock. Um, but I will not keep you. I do have one more question because I feel like we can relate on this somewhat. I know you just said you had like a twin sister, but you don't have that much of a relationship. And I heard you say in other interviews, you're like the only child. You grew up like the only
Yeah,
child. I grew up the only child as well, and I feel like I'm just curious your take on this. Me growing up the only child, I feel like me is kind of the way that I am, the way that I am. Like me kind of growing up, like not with the siblings to tell me like, like the siblings supposed to be like, man, that's not cool.
yeah,
You're not supposed to be doing that or whatever. But like me not having that there, and I'm just in a room by myself, just kind of figuring it out. I feel like is the reason that I am the way I am. I don't know if that was your experience at all, but I was curious of like your thoughts on that.
yeah. Like I think it was weird because I think she also this is the thing about twins. She also started making music and was making stuff, and then through people discovering her music, it kind of made me come across her stuff, which has just been very interesting. But I think she lived with my dad. I lived with my mum, so we both had like a very, very different kind of experience growing up. So I kind of did identify as like an only child because that was what my everyday was basically. So yeah, I think the only child thing is like a real thing because you just like you have kind of all the time in the world to kind of figure things out.
Yeah. Do you have identical twin or fraternal? Identical?
Identical.
Wow, that's crazy. So like with the identical twin and you guys did kind of grow up separately, the things that like you like y'all do know about each other, do y'all still have like a lot of similarities personality wise? Like you said she makes music and you make music. Like is there things that are like
No, yeah. She doesn't make music anymore. She just
Mm.
works in like business, economics, kind of in that kind of realm. But it was funny to see. I feel like I've always found that interesting. It was funny to kind of come across her stuff and be like, like, and kind of seeing like the like not parallels, but kind of parallels. Because I don't know. I think after a while, we were both kind of once we kind of came across each other's stuff, we both started having fun with it as well. Where she'd just like play shows I would do, and once I did one of her shows, and it was really funny.
That's how I was like, y'all
But she
performed on
lives,
the same show together.
yeah, but she lives in Nigeria now.
Mm. Lord, that's so interesting to me how like people that are identical twins or have like there's like a okay, I have a documentary. I just came up. There's a documentary called Three Identical Strangers, where at birth, three identical twins got separated and like in their early 20s found out about each other. And when they found out
Oh
about
shit,
they had so many similarities. Like they literally
that's what I mean.
grew up on different sides of America. Like one was like in Florida, the other one was like in New York, the other was like in Ohio, like completely different sides of America. And when they all met, they were getting like the interview on TV, and they'd be like, "What are you guys into?" They like the same girls, they like the same type of cars, they had the same type of fashion.
I find it really weird. I think that's something that I've been like, I guess like the past like 3 years, I've been thinking a lot more about like whether like there's been other people that had this like experience as well.
Three,
Because she's just out of it. She's just like she's super low key now.
yeah,
And I'm like, and then people are like messaging me about stuff she's made, and I'm like, wait, I'm so confused.
three identical strangers. That's my
Okay,
documentary.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yep.
This is a three identical
Strangers.
strangers.
Yep. Super duper interesting documentary just to see how like they're so similar, but they are literally not raised at all by each other. So
Oh shit! Oh, it looks good. Oh, this is crazy.
yeah,
Okay. Oh wow.
super duper interesting.
These indie films be having the most funniest posters.
That
It's
is like
like it's
that
like
is that is like the prototype indie film poster right there. Oh,
and it's really like, but they don't play because they really be having with it. They just have like all the film festivals it's
yep.
screened at, and it was like all the awards they've won. Period. Period.
Sundance winner, like they have all that. So no, that is a
And then
fact.
because once you just put the sun down, don't worry, people will subscribe.
I was gonna ask lastly, do 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 the public know your sister's artist or your sister's stage name?
You'll find out about it one day. Yeah.
Any last words for the people out there? I appreciate you coming on. It was an honor.
Uh, so I want to ask you a question.
Go
What
for
was it like meeting Kevin Gates?
it. Well, no, before I get into that, I do want to say I didn't know you knew who I was until we were emailing and you did the whole, you were like, I don't want this to be a short interview. Like, I want this to be as long as you need it. So, because you was like, those are my favorite. And I'm like, oh, so she knows of my stuff because I sometimes do longer formed interviews. So, for you to watch my dumb, idiotic interviews, I appreciate you. Before we,
Those are my favorites, you know, because like Kevin Gates is even Lyrica Anson.
no, who's that?
He did a song with her, and her mom and a tiny bit of her vocal is sampled in a song of mine called Holly on the Legato record. But I came across her through Kevin Gates. So
Wow.
I'm just like, he's quite an enigma to me. Like what was like, how did it even come about?
All right, so let's get into this Kevin Gates thing. I've talked about this a little bit on the channel, but I don't think I've ever talked about this part. So Kevin Gates, we go to this concert to do like interviews with the concert goers. That was the intent to go into this concert. We were just going to ask little funny questions to the people going to see the concert. So I think it was the lineup was like Kevin Gates, Rick Ross, some other people. It was multiple people performing that night.
Dude,
So we ended up getting backstage through this girl we knew. She got us passes. Never been backstage before.
iconic.
So Kevin Gates walks past us. He has a crazy like entourage with him. He has like this woman with like a chihuahua walking around, and he's about to go on stage. I swear to God, this nigga did like an Olympic level workout before he went on stage. He's like doing push-ups. He's doing like sit-ups backstage. He's doing like an intense workout before he goes.
Iconic.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this nigga is not
Blueprint.
a
He's a blueprint.
he jumped like 7 feet in the air working out. I'm like, this is not a real human. This nigga is insane. So I'm like, this is so funny. He performs. This guy that I know, who works for the stadium, he's like, "Hey, you want to interview Kevin Gates?" I'm like, "I guess." And he was like, "All right, I'm gonna talk to his manager when she walk by. Walk up to me." And they're talking. I walk up to them, and he tells her who I am. She's like, "Oh my gosh, we need you to interview Kevin when he gets off stage." I'm like, "All right." So I had like 10 minutes to prepare for that interview. I had no idea I was going to do that until like 10 minutes beforehand. And I'm just like
Perfect.
I'm trying to think of things to ask him. And when the time came, I interviewed him. I pretty much just freestyled that interview. And that's by far like one of my favorite interviews I've done because I had no preparation. And he really enjoyed doing the
That's
interview.
perfect.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's so iconic. Like I love him, you know. I like him. I like him. He's a weird, interesting. I feel like artists are weird. Like, you know, like most most artists are not. So it makes sense that he was exercising like it was a fucking Marvel, like a Marvel movie or like the heck. That's actually the vibe. Like I feel like before I'm about to play, I'm just kind of like shaking, and then like one lone tear is like rolling through my eyes. But I feel like if I started working out before, you know what, I'm gonna test out to make sure I'm gonna do like a crazy workout before, and then like, yeah.
You do a workout before the concert, you just turn into Kevin Gates before you perform. You just you morph into Kevin Gates.
No, yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's so funny. I actually made as a birthday present for a friend. I like found a picture of Kevin Gates and then like AI'd my voice. So Kevin Gates said happy birthday to my friend in an Australian, but then I changed my accent to an Australian accent. This was like 2 years ago. And I was gonna upload it on YouTube and I was like, is it ethical? I was like, if someone did this with me, I'd freak out. So then I was like, I just sent it to the friend for their birthday.
Australian Kevin Gates sounds like that just sounds like too much. That sounds like the end of the
It was a
world.
lot. It was a lot. My friend was like, "Oh, thank you," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm a weirdo."
No, hey,
But they actually liked it. They're like,
my birthday is November the 3rd. If you ever want to make a Kevin Gates Australian happy birthday to me, please do that. I'm telling you right now. I
I
definitely
think so. I feel like more birthday presents just need to be sent in MP4s, MP4s, MP3s. That's like my favorite type of like present gifting. Or HTML. Yeah, HTML, MP4, MOV, WAV. Yeah, those are the perfect ways. 2024, man. Let's
I,
evolve.
now I think my dream collaboration is Kevin Gates and Klein. I think I need to see that before I die.
I feel like he's already got everything on lock. I could definitely do the music for his like, you know, like the music for the live shows, like the. I could do that. Or if he had a band, I could play some keys and be like.
You think
But I think I'd want to be in Tank's band. I want to be in Tank's band.
mm,
I feel like Kevin Gates, I'll just chill and just do some additional, you know, music supervising. But for Tank, I will just be there behind the scenes. Ding, 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 ding.
I would love to interview Tank. That's shout out to that. He was just here in Jacksonville like a few months ago. Funny enough, shout out to him. Um, but yeah, like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you got any last words for the people out there, please let them be known.
Okay, what's the off was you know, I was thinking of things in Morse code. I was like, okay, I don't really have that much to say, but thank you guys. Yeah, thank you for gibberish time from, you know, with me. And I'm excited to see your next episode and your other episode. And then on period, we're going to see you on TV on your own network.
If I ever have a TV show, I'm not even kidding. I will definitely bring you in to do some type of music. I don't know what it would be, but it would be
Oh,
something.
serious,
That's it. So
serious.
just so it's this just so this is on record. And if I'm a fake nigga and I don't stand by it, niggas will know. But if I ever get a TV show,
Yeah, we
I
could
would
fight you. We could fight you for that.
exactly. You and that little kid that was looking at you, y'all can gang up on me and jump me. You know, so that's definitely gonna happen. So if I ever have a TV show, you will definitely see Klein in the credits doing something with music. I don't know what it'd be, but it'd be something. Maybe she'd be a writer. You never know. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Oh, you know, that could be cool actually.
Yeah.
That you know what? That would be crazy. Like imagine, he did like a live show, and then you had like stand up comedians, but then you had like some opening acts. Maybe you had like a rapper, two rappers, and then it's like you do the show. We have the music, you know, like almost like the Dave Chappelle show, but like a bit more cooler. Because I think his one was a bit. And then you do your thing, you chat, we have some music, some keys. Oh, that'd be crazy. And then there's Weston comes in. Oh, imagine the first episode we got Denzel.
Yeah.
And then, oh, that'd be crazy. And then we had like, I don't know, like Mike, Sideshow, or Jeremy, this does like things at the end. I just went up my nose. But yeah, that would
There's
be cool.
there's definitely a white exec watching this that's gonna steal all of that, and they're gonna like replace me with like with a white comedian or
No.
something.
No, honestly, I just feel like
It's a great idea.
I want like more like I feel like I'm really into like whenever like YouTubers who like have more like music based podcasts. I love when they do like the live shows because the live shows is always so funny because it's like wait, it's always like interesting to see who turns up. But I feel like you could go really crazy. Because imagine if you even had like you know how you do it in the shower and you had like that it was like a shower setup
That'd be
and
you
then it
know
was like smoky and then you had like dry ice when people walk in it's just dry ice and it's like a red light. Oh god, that'd be crazy.
I like where your mind is going. I like what you're putting. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like this. I like this a
No,
lot.
I think that'd be really cool. But just like one live show that was just nuts. It was like you had a rapper, a comedian, like someone selling like goods or whatever the heck. Tokyo, Mama D, Scrappy, like shit. Even have the old guys from Joe Budden's podcast. They couldn't even come in. Rory and Mal.
Having Mama D here that's the funniest name you pulled out throughout this entire interview. Mama D. That is so
Uh,
gosh.
and she was like in that order, and then she was like in that order, and then that's when and then the lights come on, and then you come on, and then you're like, hey guys, I'm Eric, and then
You're
you drop the god because you dropped the god, and now because you've been commercialized, you're like, hi, it's Eric, but you're in a suit. That'd be crazy.
have a corporate bonnet on, it just says corporate Eric, hashtag corporate Eric.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay,
You
someone needs to write this down and make sure that this actually like we get someone like I don't know, maybe NTS can fund this.
we need somebody to fund this. I don't know. Freaking Anthony Fantano should fund this for me. If you're watching this, please fund this for me.
Wait, you think I'm really got that? No, we need the corporate. We
N
need like Nestle.
Needle Drop probably got money. He been doing YouTube for way too long not to have some extreme amount of money. He a ball white man. Ball white man.
It's so interesting having the name Needle Drop. I've never understood what that meant. Needle Drop.
The needle dropping on the vinyl.
Oh my. Oh my. Yo, these are some music nerds. Wow. I get it now. Yo, you know what? I'm out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna end it on that note. We're gonna end it on that note right there. I appreciate everybody watching.
Period.
Until next
Black Lives
time.
Matter, man. Peace out.
I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play. You guys holler at your boy.